So your mom called. She wanted to remind you to like and subscribe to the LAZLOW Zone. See, look, it's your mom. I'm LAZLOW. I have a channel. And it's called the LAZLOW Zone. I got an awesome show. Make sure you watch to the end of the show because I finally figured out the reason why we are shifting realities. So, welcome to the LAZLOW Zone. Welcome to the LAZLOW Zone.
Admire what you do.
Well, it took me forever to get you here, but I knew it would happen.
Well, I had to start reading.
Yeah, you're pretty.
Thank you for waiting for me.
You're pretty. I would always wait for you. I've been a fan of yours. I tell you, since I saw you, the first time I ever saw you, you did an act, and you didn't even speak. You just did impressions with your face.
That's right. That's right.
And I said, this guy.
Yeah, it started early. When I saw Golden Pond when I was a kid, I walked out of the theater and I was like, you want me to pick strawberries? Like, I didn't know I was doing it. I saw myself in a shop window, and I went, "Wow, that's his face." No. But it came from the inside. Oh, by the way, I have to tell you the story.
Yes,
I don't know if you know this story, but we auditioned the same night at the Comedy Store for Mitzi.
Oh, come on.
Years ago. Years ago. The night you auditioned.
Certainly it was years ago, Jim.
Okay.
I don't think we have...
All time is happening at once, Bill. Don't you know that?
That's right.
That's the new school of thought. All time happens at once.
Okay, well, yeah, I never was... you were an actor at the comedy. They didn't like me.
You killed, and I sucked.
Really? Why didn't I get past?
You were so tight. You got past. You were regular and stuff. I got up there, and the microphone fell apart in my hands. The first thing that happened. You know it's going to be one of those nights, right? And I ran past Mitzi back to Canada for 2 years.
I've noticed, we're both around the same age, or you're a little younger, but as time goes by, I noticed that your mind really moves the furniture. Yeah. I don't think that was me. I think you're transferring that with somebody.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't think
it's the Mandela Effect.
Yeah, I never did.
Is that how that works?
Yes, you're thinking of Greg Kinnear or something.
Oh, no. You were a young, lovely Omar.
I don't remember ever doing well at the Comedy Store. I'm glad you remember.
I honestly find it fascinating that even celebrities are talking about the Mandela Effect. And what does that tell you? It tells you that this is something that's affecting everybody. Not just normal people, but everybody. Even celebrities. All these celebrities are actually tied into the Illuminati, all that. I can go in that further in other videos, but like this guy, Jim Carrey himself, he had a choice. His girlfriend's dead. It's called a blood oath. Look it up. Look up, see if I can look up Imagine Dragons.
The time has come. I'm just going to break it quick, clean, get it done with. Doesn't matter that I signed a blood oath. Doesn't matter anymore. The Illuminati's real. I'm a member. It's how Imagine Dragons got famous. I'm tired of the politics. It puts me at great risk putting this out here and telling you guys this, but I believe in full honesty, and Beyonce is not talking, Chris Martin, nobody's saying a word, so there it is, there. Do all the details as quick as I can. The president, Elon Musk, vice president, Harry Styles, treasurer, Beyonce, Taylor Swift is historian, and that's all I know.
You could literally just look through their lyrics and their songs, and it has nothing to do with what I'm talking about. Okay, so where are we in the universe? Where are we? Because I remember even Neil deGrasse Tyson, he says we were in Sagittarius Arm.
Welcome back to Darkoff from Manhattan, New York City, North America, Western Hemisphere, Earth, solar system, Sagittarius Arm.
So the notion that we're going to find some intelligent life and have a conversation with it? When was the last time you stopped to have a conversation with a worm or a bird. Oh, well, you might have had a conversation, but I don't think you expected an answer, all right? So, we don't have conversations with any other species on Earth with whom we have DNA in common. To believe that some intelligent other species is going to be interested in us enough to have a conversation? They'll look at our Hubble telescope and say, oh, isn't that quaint? Look at what they're doing. So I lay awake at nights wondering whether simply we as a species are simply too stupid to figure out the universe that we're investigating. And maybe we need some other species, 1% smarter than we are, for which string theory would be intuitive, for which all the greatest mysteries of the universe, from dark matter, dark energy, the origins of life, and all the frontiers of our thought, would be something that they would just self-intuit. I'm jealous of that possibility, because I want to be around for those discoveries.
Stephen Hawking was born on January 8th of 1942 on the 300th anniversary of Galileo's death. The man was a genius that, although bound to a wheelchair by a strange form of ALS, was able to develop major contributions to the fields of cosmology, general relativity, and quantum gravity, especially in the context of black holes. Eventually, the man lost his ability to use his voice. From there on, he was only able to talk with the help of a computer, but whenever he spoke, the world listened, all the way up until his death on March 14th of 2018, the same date on which Albert Einstein was born. Some say that intelligence can be a curse because it allows individuals to understand the natural world in a better context. The man was in tune with nature and the cosmos. But throughout his career, Stephen had two serious concerns with the future of humanity, concerns that will make your blood run cold. The first deals with human overpopulation, something that at the current rate cannot continue into the next millennium. Hear it in his own words.
One reason is that the Earth is becoming too small for us. In the last 200 years, the growth has become exponential. That is, the population grows by the same percentage each year. Currently, the rate is about 1.9% a year. This may not sound very much, but it means that the world population doubles every 40 years. I will celebrate my 80th birthday in 2022, and in my lifetime, the world's population has quadrupled. This exponential growth cannot continue into the next millennium. By the year 2600, the world's population would be standing shoulder to shoulder, and the electricity consumption would make the Earth glow red hot. This is untenable.
His second warning derives from the massive progress and development of artificial intelligence, that even though these could bring in huge benefits, the effects of a computer emulating the human brain and exceeding it could be catastrophic.
Every aspect of our lives will be transformed. In short, success in creating AI could be the biggest event in the history of our civilization. But it could also be the last, unless we learn how to avoid the risks. Alongside the benefits, AI will also bring dangers, like powerful autonomous weapons, or new ways for the few to oppress the many. It will bring great disruption to our economy.
And then apparently for a while we were in Orion's arm. And now we're in the Virgo supercluster.
people had answered that question which had so excited me as a young boy growing up in Brooklyn, the question, what are the stars? And the answer is that the stars are mighty suns light years away in the depths of interstellar space. And around those suns, are there other planets? And on those other worlds, are there beings who wonder as we do? Here, the nearby stars, the ones you can see with the naked eye, those are all in what's called the solar neighborhood. That's really what astronomers call it, the neighborhood. But it's a very tiny place in the Milky Way galaxy. The Milky Way is that band of light that you see across the sky on a clear night. I can't tell if there are any more clear nights in Brooklyn, but you must have seen the Milky Way, right? See, faint band of light at night. Well, that's just 100 billion stars, all seen together, edge on, as in this picture. If you could get out of the Milky Way galaxy and look down on it, it would look like that picture. And if we did look down on the Milky Way galaxy, where would the sun and nearby stars be? Would it be in the center where things look important or at least well lit? No. We would be way out here in the suburbs, in the countryside of the galaxy. We're not in any important place. All the stars you could see would be in a little place like that. And the Milky Way would be this band of light, 100 billion stars all together. The fact that we live in the outskirts of the galaxy was discovered long time ago, towards the end of the First World War, by a man named Harlow Shapley, who was mapping the position of these clusters of stars. See, every one of these is a bunch of maybe 10,000 stars all together. It's called a globular cluster. And you can see that they are centered around the middle, the center of the galaxy. People used to think that the sun was at the center of the galaxy, something important about our position. It turns out to be wrong. We live in the outskirts. The globular clusters are centered around the marvelous middle of the Milky Way galaxy. And then it turned out that this isn't the only galaxy. We live in this one, but there are many.
Everything at that point was illogical. My other friend decided it was a good time as ever to put Carl Sagan's classic series, The Cosmos. In case you're thinking, that's totally radical, that's fucking awesome. Fucking stop right now. Stop. My synopsis of The Cosmos High is as follows. Why is this room cold? What is that music? What? Really? Who? I need to talk to someone. Is he an aquarium? Or is that's his hair? Is his hair supposed to look like that? That's a what? No, God, this is Tron. This is fucking Tron. You put him on Tron.
Number 2. Does anybody like the Muppets? Because I got a bird for you. It looks just like a Muppet. I can't even believe it's alive. I thought it was fake for a second, but it's got yellow eyes and it hides like a tree and it camouflages perfectly. It's called the Potoo. Check it out.
Today, we will be observing the majestic Potoo bird in its natural habitat. These beautiful creatures feast on flying insects and are highly nocturnal. They are very tranquil, and it is rare to see them engage in calm.
By all these things milling around. No, not now. But sometimes it flies up and it gets it. Like I would need a Potoo now from the car. Does it have like a feather on the side of its face, or is that just an illusion? It's an illusion, like they have feathers.
You know, I know there's thousands and millions of different kinds of species of animals in the world, but sometimes I just look it up just to see if it exists, and you know what? Have you ever seen a red rhino before? Have you ever seen a tourist be attacked by a red rhino?
Beautiful.
Oh my god. He like walks funny. It's crazy. It's coming to my nose.
No ven muy bien, bien muy buen olfato.
Are you videotaping this?
Are you mating with them?
Muy bien.
It's because they can't see, they can hear. Move over. Is this dangerous? No, because he's in a car to just drive. Oh my.
No, hijo de...
This is so cool.
Okay, a little close for comfort. Oh my. I'm not zooming anymore. Oh, wow. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Oh my god, oh my god. Oh my god. Be careful. Jillian, be careful. Jillian, stay in. Stay back. Oh.
¿Qué pasó?
Oh, he's gonna choke. Oh my god. He doesn't like the trap.
Your husband?
My husband? That's a very pissed off red rhino. Yeah, he doesn't like it. You better be videotaping this.
No ven bien, pero pueden muy bien.
Holy shit. No.
No.
My heart.
You see that on your photograph? All the slides on it? ¿No los ve? ¿Qué trato de hacer esta señora? Ponernos de adrenalina.
Her heart. Her heartbeat. Oh, he's coming. Oh my god. Oh my god.
I do have a crossbow. I've never used it on an animal. Maybe a tree. Anyway, when it comes to deer, if you shoot a deer with antlers, you think, oh, that's a male, right? Well, there's a couple in America. Shot a deer thinking it was a male, but they came into a strange surprise.
It's a sight hunters rarely ever see. But for Maxine Bird and her son Terry,
I never dreamed of it. Never.
The two were in the woods of their Ida backyard, staking out the scene from a deer stand, when a buck came within 60 yards.
They're exceptional. It had a 17-inch spread, 9-point.
Maxine took a shot, but it wasn't until they got back to skin it when the so-called buck revealed its true self.
When I reached up with a knife, that's when I saw it.
He came and got me and said, Mom, you got to see this.
I've never seen this before.
It just had girl parts.
It was like, wow. I didn't know what to think at that point.
A doe with fully matured antlers. The 72-year-old has shot several deer, but nothing like this.
This is my first doe with horns, yes.
Officials with Arkansas Game and Fish went to Ida to document the rare kill and confirm the doe, but tagged it a buck because it has antlers. A deer biologist says a doe with antlers is unusual and has documented 3 of them in the natural state in his 15-year career.
It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, you know, and I'm proud of her.
A trophy the birds plan to mount and lease for display.
An old hunting buddy.
Another hunting trip is planned this weekend in the same spot.
I might be afraid to get another one. I don't know.
In Indonesia, there is a volcano that is not any ordinary volcano. It has blue lava. The reason why it has blue lava is because there's so much methane coming out of this freaking volcano that the lava turns blue because it's burning such high temperatures, and it's something to see. Seriously. Hawaii's got nothing on Indonesia.
So this next one is why I want to go to India. Or Pakistan. Or both. I don't know. It's called Sri Meenakshi blah blah. I said that perfectly. Sri Meenakshi Temple. I don't know. It just looks awesome. And I'm going to ask my friend, who's actually from the Middle East, if he's ever seen this thing before. But there's a bunch of them. They're multicolored Indian temples, and they look amazing. Definitely something to go check out in India. You know, I've seen a lot of weird things in my life. Kind of like that Potoo bird with yellow eyes. But there's another bird called a purple glowing starling. And it's also got yellow eyes, and it's very purple. And I want one as a pet. I want everything as a pet, so I think there's some for sale. Yeah. This little guy is called a Hyrax. Apparently he was extinct for a while. He's related to elephants for some reason. They have little hooves. They look like little mini bears, rats mixed with other animals put together. But they were extinct. That's why I have it on my video, because I've never seen one. They are back from the dead. What's next? The dodo bird? And they're really cute.
And they're only in certain parts of the world, but not from Canada, apparently. Unfortunately. Sure. Have you ever seen a giant rat? That's a good question. And apparently these were extinct too. Nutria. And there's a lot of people around the world that actually have these as pets, and they're huge. It's like the size of a dog, really. If you find one in your backyard, get it away from your cat.
Kurde trzyma, nie?
Małpa Jurka, a stary to jest stary.
Dobra, puść go.
Nigdy.
Odejdź!
7 ton. To trzeba być cyrkowcem. Nigdy się nie bierze dzika ani...
So like always, I always leave the best for last. So, without further ado, I give you the glow-in-the-dark turtle.
This is a clip from Avatar. In this movie, the cast are in a different planet, and it seems like a fantasy. But, can it be possible in Earth? What do you think? Yes, it is. In nearby past, scientists have found out numerous fish, sharks, corals, seahorses, and more than 200 types of crabs and insects possess this ability. But, it is the first time that they found it in reptile. It was a turtle. A hawksbill turtle. Discovered by National Geographic explorer David Gruber in the Solomon Islands, the incredibly rare turtle was caught on camera, glowing neon red and green, under a blue light. They filmed the world's first biofluorescent reptile. This sea turtle dwells in the tropical waters of the Indian, Atlantic, and Pacific Oceans. It is probably the most critically endangered turtle species in the world. It is the only species that seem to have two types of biofluorescence, green and red. The cause of this biofluorescence is quite unknown, as there are very few left. Other fishes and sharks use it to attract prey, communicate with others, or deter predators. Under ordinary light, biofluorescent creatures appear unremarkable. But their true colors shine in deeper and darker depths. Water absorbs most of the visible light spectrum, as light goes deep into the sea. Unlike bioluminescent animals, these biofluorescent animals take the remaining blue light, and use it to make themselves glow.
So like I said, I would try to explain why the Mandela Effect is happening, and I finally figured it out. I'm going to try and explain the best I can to my knowledge, and to keep it as simple as I possibly can for most people. Number one, it's about consciousness. Our consciousness is what we are aware of. It's what we do. It's how our minds work, and it's how we are a collective consciousness of this planet. So if you were to think of Saturn as another world having its own consciousness, it actually has sound coming out of it. It's really creepy, actually. Sounds like this. Now, if you do any ancient research, you go look at the Sumerians, the Mayans. They all had this long count calendar. They all predicted this happening. 90% of solar systems have two stars. They are dual stars. And our solar system is no exception. Now, with this planet, Planet X, people have been hiding it for years. The government's known about it for hundreds of years, and they've been just keeping it under the radar, installing things to completely distract us from the fact that it even exists. So every 3,500 years, if you look back in history, what is the furthest back in recorded history as, you know, Sumerians, around 3,000, maybe 4,000 years. So, the thing's coming back, and it has its own consciousness, which, while it's coming here, coming to our world, and affecting our world, physically, emotionally, spiritually, it is coming with its own consciousness. Nibiru is coming. It's prophesied. There's obviously people living on this planet. The race that actually genetically modified humans is coming back. If you look at Enki, it's all written in Sumerian text as an actual religion. They believe that these two beings were the ones who genetically modified human beings as a slave race, and they're coming back. And when it does come back, it could cause another pole shift, which the planet and people are not ready for. The only thing that survived that last time was the pyramids. They're still standing. They stand the test of time, but there's not really much that is going to stand. That's why 9/11, the reason why 9/11 happened was because they bombed the two towers. They took trillions and trillions of dollars from our government, from our money. I'm not American, so you guys can deal with that, but I'm Canadian. But they took all this trillions of dollars, and you know what they did with all that money? They built underground bases, because they've been planning for this to come by for who knows how many years. And they have underground bases all over the world. And when you start seeing politicians and people just on vacation, or they're just gone, or there's a lot of people missing, they're probably getting ready to go in the base. And we're not invited. We don't have the tickets. Unless you got $1 trillion or $1 billion or a billionaire, you're part of the Rockefellers. I'm sorry, you're not getting in. You're just as screwed as everyone else. So, how is this going to affect? Well, the consciousness of this planet is affecting the world. As we know it, things are changing, and that consciousness and ours are molding together. They did an experiment a long time ago called the Skoll experiment. And it's basically when two conscious beings, or even power, collide, not only do they intermingle, but there's a void. There's a part between the consciousness that actually causes a rip in space and time where entities can emerge from. So I don't think that this dimensional rift is going to slow down anytime soon. We're going to see a lot more things change, animals change, things go back. Like a lot of these animals were extinct and now they're back. Physically impossible, but it's not impossible if the consciousness of another planet is affecting our planet. And they, who knows what they are going to bring? Who knows what is going to happen until it happens? Has this happened before? Probably. We've probably destroyed, not we, but the planet has probably been destroyed countless amounts of times, and we don't even know how many times. It could be millions. Who knows? If it's a cycle, just like the sun and the Earth going around the sun, then how many times did the Earth go around the sun? Really? Do you know? How many times did this planet go around our sun and wipe out our system over and over? Also, what I noticed, which is very interesting, in our solar system, we have an asteroid belt. It looks like a planet was destroyed. There's a vacancy there. There should be a planet there. Something happened at one point. These solar systems collided and they destroyed a whole planet. And then the moon is a whole other thing. The moon is a whole other thing I'll leave for another video because I got to do more research on the moon. But the moon is another place that could be inhabited also. So keep your eyes out. Give me as many links as you want for ideas for my next video. And like, subscribe. Feel free to donate. That would help me out. And you've just watched the LAZLOW Zone. Broke my camera again. No, I can't find it. Can I get number 7, the barbecue chicken burger? Number 7?
BLT?
No, no. Actually, the number 7, the barbecue turkey burger.
We don't. I was like, what are you talking about?
That was the best thing to do to people that work at a restaurant. It's so funny.
That was good. That was a good one.
I'm just waiting for these idiots to fucking figure out what they're doing. You know what you should do? You should go on YouTube.
Go on YouTube.
Yeah.